Hey guys, Reed here. Today I'm going to show you a technique for creating a slicer that allows a report consumer to filter between month-to-date, quarter-to-date, and year-to-date values. These date ranges are very common scenarios for quite a lot of report consumers. Now this technique specifically has two major benefits. The first one is that this technique relies upon relationships between a DAX generated table and the calendar table in my model to filter for these date ranges. This results in the DAX aggregations that will run noticeably faster than if this same logic was applied within the measure itself. Plus, this will drastically reduce the number of unique measures in your model that you need to write. The other benefit is that we'll have a single slicer with options for month-to-date, quarter-to-date, and year-to-date in it, like the one you see here on the right. So the final result overall is a faster and more simplified experience for the end user. So let's hop into Power BI and get started. So I have some demo data in here just from public college tuition data in regards to some distribution and details around the tuition between states and a few other things. The data itself isn't as important as the fact that I just have 12 months of data in here just as test data in my model to show you how the slicers and functionality work. So you'll notice up here that I just created a measure that shows the date range in here. So that will just simply show you what happens when I filter. So what I have in here is a single slicer for selection. Now watch, if I click month to date, that filters my data down to month-to-date data. In this case, between the 1st and the 3rd of the month of February, where I'm at today. If I click quarter-to-date, that now drops from the 1st of the year to the 3rd of February, and then year-to-date, same thing because I'm at the beginning of the year. Now, I did separately create a demo slicer over here that scoots the dates forward in time to the beginning of May, so you can see a bit more of a range of data. If I clicked month-to-date, that goes until the 6th of May from the 1st of May. If I click quarter to date, that goes from April 1st to May 6th. And then you actually get a full year to date value that just shows you a bigger range. So this one just kind of shows you the functionality, but at a different date that has a bit more data in it, just to show you a broader range of the data itself. But as you can see, the functionality really will filter regardless of the day that you're in on any day of the year between either month to date, quarter to date, or year to date values of all the data here. And this is accomplished via relationships. So let me go show you the functionality and the design in the model, and then show you how I created these tables. So we're going to come over here to the relationships tab, or the model tab, better said. And you'll notice that I have a calendar table, standard calendar table, and a data table that's in here. The important things to note over here is that I have these two tables here. Again, I only have two for the fact that I wanted to create that demo table that just showed you the functionality if I had a date in May, which just has a bit more data in it. But the thing that I really want you to notice is the fact that there is a bidirectional relationship between my calendar table and this, because it's actually a many-to-one relationship that it needs to flow in the proper direction to go from my selection table down, following the arrow, to my calendar table, and then that relationship then naturally flows from the distinct down to the many in my data table. So let me show you the actual structure of these tables. Coming over to the data tab and looking at my month-to-date, quarter-to-date, year-to-date selection. Again, I will go ahead and explain the DAX measures in a bit of how I created it, but let's just look at the date ranges. So I'm going to select from here, go ahead and select month-to-date. What that has is the actual date values for any of the month-to-dates. So when I refresh this tomorrow, it's actually going to have a row for this 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Same thing with quarter-to-date. That has a separate set of dates that goes all the way from the 1st of 2020 to the 3rd. And then the same thing as well for year-to-date. That will just be accumulation of the very beginning of the year all the way up through that. And the fact that I have 3 different selections for month-to-date, quarter-to-date, and year-to-date, these date values may actually have multiple rows for the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, etc. When they overlap between the month, quarter, and year-to-date selections. So that's why it's a many-to-one relationship as far as these goes. Each one has a distinct set of dates corresponding to that date range. And that's why that bidirectional is turned on. So this is actually substantially faster to use this method as opposed to putting that date logic in a measure, which will then require it to be calculated in memory every time you refresh anything on the page. So the relationships almost always will be faster than having to do that same logic in a measure itself. And the other benefit too is I can now put off of the selection here just that column that has the month to date, quarter to date, or year to date in there in the slicer, allowing a single slicer to have all 3 of these. And then it follows those relationships, filters the calendar table, and then filters the data table from there. And the other major benefit is I now don't have to create a separate measure for month to date, separate measure for quarter to date, and year to date for each metric. If I had 30 different metrics that I wanted to show, such as actuals, budget, forecast, actuals minus budget, etc., I would have to create the base calculation for all of those, plus a unique measure for each of these date range selections. And that would be so much more time consuming. So less measures to write, less complicated model, and faster using these relationships. Now the formula itself to create this, if I go over here and open up that DAX measure formula, you'll see what I have is a bunch of variables declared at the top. And if you're curious about variables, I actually talk about a few performance reasons to use them, plus readability as well, that I will link you to in a video over here on the right. But let me now just go ahead and explain to you this formula that's in front of us that creates a DAX calculated table. I do want to just note that this could be created in Power Query. I happen to find creating date ranges and everything else just easier in DAX. But I start by declaring today's date here at the top, and then I'm wanting to calculate the start date for the year, the start date for a quarter, and the start date for a month. So I'm calculating the start of year, and by the way, I do need to use the actual date from the data table. If I was to use the calendar date, I would then get hit with a circular dependency error down here. Just because they're both DAX calculated tables, it doesn't quite allow it to calculate in this way, and it basically just gets stuck in this process. So you do need to use, at least for this formula that I've made, the actual data table month and year values in here. So that's all this is doing, is it's calculating the start of year, where the year is equal to the current year as of today. And that's the same thing with the quarter start. It's calculating the start of the quarter, where the year is in the current year, and the quarter here is also in the current quarter based on today's date. Finally, for the month, same thing. Start of month, where the year is in the current year from today's date, and the month is in the current month from today's date. So those three are calculated. All the complex logic is kept up here. A nice clean formula at the bottom, and I'm using the union function to combine those three lists together. I have the list of dates between the year start and today's date. I have a list of dates between quarter start and today's date, and I have a list of months as well between the month start and today's date. And all three of those combined creates that list, plus the columns where for my slicer I have the year to date, quarter to date, and month to date, because that's what the add columns is doing. It's creating two columns per table, a list of calendar dates, and then a column that just flags it as the year to date for these values, quarter to date for these values, and month to date for these values. And finally just getting returned, then creating that beautiful table that we see over here that has those three values as I just mentioned, plus their corresponding date ranges in here. And overall allowing us to achieve that wonderful result to very quickly and easily go between these date ranges. And as I mentioned, the biggest benefits of this performs a lot faster than having to calculate all of that logic individually in dozens of different DAX formulas for these ranges. Plus, you also have a lot less measures in your model. And this file will be available to download in my blog files section, so make sure to visit it there to get a copy of this. Now, the one thing I want to note currently is the fact that these relationships are active. Unless I modified anything on this page, as soon as I use this slicer, any metric that is attached to the calendar table will automatically get filtered by month to date, quarter to date, or year to date. So I'm actually going to do a part 2 follow-up to this video to show you how to do this method here with these slicers, but also only have these slicers affect some measures, but not all of them, using inactive relationships and the use relationship function. So that will be a part 2 to this video that I will do very soon as well. And that about covers it for this video. If you like this video, please click or smash that like button below. And if you have any comments about this video or have a suggestion for a future video, please add that to the comment section down below. And if this is your first time to my channel or you want to see more of these awesome videos, please click that subscribe and notification button. And otherwise, I will see you in my next video.